The loading screen at the beginning of the video means if you're trying to avoid spoilers for the Ringed City, go ahead and pause me, come back later. I'll be invading in the Ringed City using one of the new weapons. I'm going to be talking about the bosses. My opponents will be using all of the weapons from the DLC. So yeah, if you don't want spoilers, here's your warning. The Ringed City is one of the few times in the Dark Souls series where we actually get to explore human civilization. And I'm not going to go into the lore yet, but what that means to us as invaders is our walkways, the halls, the paths that we follow. They're all a little more narrow. The doors feel a little more tight. The stairway feels cramped. Even areas that appear to be wide, open, and spacious a lot of times conceal these narrow, deadly alleyways, the sort of places where invaders live and thrive, where we spring ambushes, where we draw people back into traps, where we retreat to when situations get a little too dangerous. No other playstyle can make the most out of all of these different areas like a spellcaster. Spellcasters often have it usually pretty rough in invasions in Dark Souls 3. It's one of the reasons I incorporated poise into both of my spellcasters when invading. But this video, I want to just sort of talk about preparedness, invader preparedness. Kind of an anti-trolling video, I guess. And what I mean by that is, if I wanted to, I could have just like summoned a friend and had them equip the door shields. They could have they could have stood at the end of one of those narrow corridors that I was talking about, blocked it off, and I could hit invaders with this cloud of death. Instead of doing that, I figured, wouldn't it be more fun and showcase more skill if we did it as an invader? Obviously, that appeals to me more. You guys know I love me some invasions. We're playing as a Spear of the Church to start this off, just so I can sort of showcase what we're using. This is the Poise Wizard. You guys know Poise Wizard if you've seen any videos on my channel before. Moonlight Greatsword, decent amount of poise, very few spells. We're only using them as utilities. But because we're invading in the Ringed City, we're using Pestilent Mercury, we're using Snap Freeze, and our third spell is White Dragon Breath. Now, in my typical playstyle, we're not going to be using White Dragon Breath until it's time to finish somebody off. It's sort of our ace in the hole, if you will. I wanted to be able to show you the three spells, the Great Sword. I wanted to be able to show all that off, and the quickest way I could do that is play as a Spear of the Church. Also, playing as a Spear of the Church is fun as hell. So, you guys are kind of getting a feel for what's going on, right? I'm creating these clouded areas, and if you come running into me, you're going to take damage. Now, it's not a whole lot of damage, but it might be enough that I can finish you off with 3 Moonlight Greatsword hits instead of 4 or 5. 4 or 5 is easy to break away from. Roll away, get an Estus off. But if you're caught in that Pestilent Mercury, and you're caught in that Snap Freeze, and maybe your stamina's just not recovering like it usually is, it's possible that I can finish you off in 3 hits, rather than, the typical 5 or 6. And 3 hits I can do pretty reliably. Now, obviously there's no true 3-hit combo with Moonlight Greatsword or anything, but basically it just increases my odds. Now, obviously I can't make a whole lot of use of the terrain in this big open arena, but you guys get to see I'm casting the spells, I'm kiting people back into them. Obviously they want to avoid the gaseous hell area I've created, but if they want to hit me, they're going to have to go back into it. This invasion is a very simple one-on-one lone host. Wanted to have a little duel, and this ended up working beautifully as a sort of tutorial for how this will work in an actual invasion where I don't have infinite poise because I'm a boss. I've got two separate clouds. I kite him from one over into the other. Every time he takes a swing when he shouldn't have, he gets a new cloud. Now after that's gone on for a while, we go back into the bread and butter of Dark Souls combat. Spacing and timing, melee combat. Now, when it's time to finish the fight, we show him something he hasn't seen before, White Dragon Breath. It's thrown him off. All he was expecting was another cloud. We make a cloud, we kite him into it, we make another, we kite him into that one, we hit him with the sword, you get him agitated, they stop playing smart, you surprise him with White Dragon Breath. Now we're going to get into some actual invasions, some multiplayer co-op invasions. Let's get into it. So the first thing of note is we got Phantom and the Host. We didn't roll up on them and start casting spells. We didn't fling magic at them right off the bat. They see us using the Moonlight Greatsword. They know we're a sorcerer. They know that. They know we're an intelligence build. There would be absolutely... Well, I mean, I guess you could make an intelligence build that didn't have any spells, but why the hell would you? So, we're not using the spells. Basically, we're still going at them with just the weapons. We don't want to show them everything yet. We want to leave it, we want it to be a surprise. Now, I've got them on this narrow bridge here. Now's a good time to start hitting them with the spells. Now they have to make a decision. Do they follow me or do they retreat? Do they jump off the ledge? They choose to retreat. This is buying me time. You can hear the Herald Knight coming up behind me. And now all they've seen is one spell. That's all they've got from me, is that they know I've got Snap Freeze. That's it. And we used it on that bridge. It was a very tight, narrow corridor. It made them think, and more importantly, it acted as a sort of detour. It moved traffic the way we wanted it to move, which was just not towards us en masse, which is the problem with invasions. You get gang fucked all the time. Well, if you've got something that can sort of stop that, besides pure skill, with a little bit of luck, or a whole lot of luck and a little bit of pure skill, you increase your odds dramatically, right? So that's what we're doing with our preparations. That's why we're using these spells. We're giving ourselves, the spells were equipped long before the invasion took place. We scoped the place out, we scouted the area, and again, look, in this big wide open area, I'm not relying on the spells. I'm still using the sword. We're just going to stick with that. Now try and bait them into the hallway a little bit. They don't want to take it. But again, what I'm really doing here is I'm buying time for this Herald Knight to get up here and really make this a stressful situation for these guys. I almost get the greatest backstab of the century, but no dice. Once again, narrow corridor, small narrow bridge, tight corner. We get the heal, and then we're going to immediately switch to magic. And if you want to follow me, it's going to cost you some life. Life and some stamina. Snap Freeze. You get frostbit. You bit. They followed me a little too far back. Ring City Knight gets in on the fight. We knock the Phantom off the bridge. I accidentally jump off the bridge. Did not mean to do that. Got a little excited because I knocked the Phantom off. But no big. We can make mistakes. Now they want to fight the Herald Knight, obviously, so I'm backing him up by casting Snap Freeze. They took their eyes off the bird, and our Phantom is dead. Now, the host thinks that's the escape route. It is not. That is the escape route. Don't ask me where the hell he goes to, but there he is. And now it's just a simple matter of chasing him down, teaming up with the Ring City Spear Knight for the finish. But that is a great showcase for not overly relying on spells. Spells are your get out of jail free card. As as an invader. Now, in try-hard duels, spells are basically just a rhythmic pattern that you're casting the same spell over and over and over and over again. Maybe one of two spells. You're trying to teach them so that you can surprise them. With invasions, it's a little different. Now, I hit him with the Snap Freeze while he was fighting the Ringed City Spear Knight. Go right back into the Greatsword, and we're going to use the Greatsword to finish him off. We got him with Frostbite. We fucked off his stamina a little bit. We did a little bit of damage, but the Greatsword's what did all the work. Snap Freeze basically just says, hey, I'm here. Now against the host, we'll do a little better job as a spellcaster. We've got Snap Freeze on one side, Pestilent Mercury on the other. Now he wants to chase me with that Dark Sword, so I'm going to roll right back into the Pestilent Mercury. And then I'm going to position myself so that if he wants to get away, he has to go towards Pestilent Mercury or get smashed by my Moonlight Greatsword. When you're using spells that are sort of those set it and forget it type spells, like Floating Chaos for Pyromancers, I'm not sure if there is one for Miracles. If there is, you guys let me know. But when you're using those sort of set it and forget it spells, you need to be really, really good insofar as movement is concerned. You want to be able to sort of shepherd the people where you want them to go. You want to corral them. You don't want to give them the option to go somewhere and not get hurt because of it. They should get hurt no matter which way they go. In that last invasion as well, you also saw we relied a little more on spells because we were in that tight, narrow corridor. There's only one exit as long as the Spear Knight was still alive. Made it really tough on him. Now here, we're back in a big open space, so we're not just blasting the spells right off the bat. That had a little more poise on it than I had anticipated. But like I said, he sees the Moonlight Greatsword. You know what I mean? He knows this is an intelligence class. I'm sorry, an intelligence-based build. They know you're going to have spells. This area right here would have been just an absolute fucking... Oh, if they had followed me back here, it would have been just too good, wouldn't it? Because now you got to deal with the curse coming off of those hollows, and now the Snap Freeze, because they didn't know what spell to expect. They just rolled through it. Now they're stuck in a Snap Freeze and a Pestilent Mercury, on top of the fact that there's hollows flinging lightning bolts, trying to curse them, the whole nine, in this very, very, very narrow little alley. Yeah, this worked out just beautifully. They're chucking the fire bombs, but because of all the tight corners, I can see all that coming. None of it's going to hit me. We're in no danger here. Went for the White Dragon Breath there. Was hoping it would have finished off Fat Darksword guy, but he managed to interrupt us. There you see the Moonlight Greatsword doing what it does, chopping fools down. There's the White Dragon Breath. Back to the Snap Freeze. We can scare him off. You can see they're just panic rolling. More Snap Freeze. And as a result, everybody fucking dies. Except for the fat guy with the dark sword. But you couldn't have played it better. That was the narrow, tight alleyways. That's how you do it. This stairway here is very narrow, confined, claustrophobic feeling area. We're going to use Snap Freeze right off the bat here, just to make sure that no one was standing in that corner camping it, trying to kill us. I was going to cast it either way. It just happened to turn into the most beautiful backstab of all time. And that's how we're going to play it for as long as they want to come down this hallway. Keep in mind, guys, by the way, there was a shit ton of trial and error in this. I lost a shit ton of invasions, and you shouldn't feel bad about any invasion you ever fucking lose, especially if it's like 5-on-1 or whatever. Never feel bad about that. I lost a shit ton of invasions trying to get this right. But when you do get it right, man, nothing feels better. Nothing feels better than this just clicking like a well-oiled machine. You can see here, I'm going to make them fight for every inch of space. 511 damage off the White Dragon Breath. Not enough to finish them off, but we got them thinking about something, didn't we? Again, we're just blasting the clouds to make sure they're not camping the corners, because I want to be able to get back in there and take a look at what they're doing. Now, I think I've seen 2 Phantoms and the host at this point, so I'm not sure if there's a dried finger active. I'm not sure if I'm going to have backup or what. But after that long of a period of time, me just sitting in that hallway and not hearing or seeing anything, I start to feel like that shortcut is probably open, and they're on their way to go fight one of the bosses, which is the case. However, you can see they rode the elevator all the way down, and then they rode it all the way back up. And I don't know if that's because the host wants to go fight Midir, or it's just or if he wants to come back up here and kill the invader. It's just a very complicated sort of situation. But I don't give a shit. I don't have to give a shit. All I have to do is equip the Silvercat ring and smash everybody. Now, again, very tight doorway right here. I can cast the Snap Freeze. I can move forward. I can cast Pestilent Mercury. I can back up and go for White Dragon Breath. Now, for what the narrow corridor worked against me there, and White Dragon Breath crawled up the wall instead of going at the Phantom. Again, we're blasting the corners because I couldn't tell if that last Phantom took the elevator down or not. We just want to make sure they're not camping corners on us. Same situation. They look a little lost. The difference is I'm not seeing the host down there this time. So I start thinking... No, wait, that is the host. Yeah. Did you see the host? He just jumped down into the Midir boss room. Okay. Now, I saw that. I caught that. I'm not sure if the Phantoms did because of all the excitement with the invader. Now, this dude's using the glitched Lothric banner thing where it turns into Dark Moonblade for whatever reason. But that's fine. We don't need petty tricks. You saw I was out of Ashen Estus there. That was an issue. I needed to take my regular Estus down 1 and then my Ashen Estus up 1. I needed to be playing with 5 and 2 instead of 6 and 1. So I'm taking a look down here, and if that party didn't go into Midir's boss room, this is going to be an easy invasion from here on out. And it's worth the risk. I want to make sure I'm at full health before I take this chance. What do you know? And again, here you see the use of corralling your opponent where you want them to be. I switched to the Aquamarine Dagger just for the quick finish. He got smart and started trying to attack me out of that corner. The Aquamarine Dagger was too fast. Finished him off. But blasting them with those spells when they were in that very tight little elevator shaft, it can be stressful when you... I mean, as invaders, we all know how fucking stressful it is. You're trying to fight, and all of a sudden you're getting hit. God, what was that not beautiful? Oh, beautiful. And I've blocked the exit. What I was saying is we all know how stressful it is to get hit from afar. To get hit from range when you're trying to engage, it'll freak you out. It'll get you worried. Tried to give the invader the quiet resolve here, but like everyone else who wants to use the Ringed Knight paired greatswords, he's got to just keep mashing L1. They've announced that they're nerfing that already. Go figure. Now, because my partner is using that weapon, it's going to make my job a little more difficult. That was on me, that, by the way. And here it is again. This gold is smarter than I'm giving him credit for. You know how I always say you always have to kill the spellcasters first in an invasion. It's the same for hosts. If there's 2 invaders, you should always kill the spellcaster first. This guy is, he knows what's up, so he's trying to kill the spellcaster. Unfortunately, he's not good enough with that halberd to get the job done. And this guy's going to spam L1 at him a little bit. It never ends. It just never fucking ends. Oh, that's different. Once we have some room to work, we'll go in and we'll chase this guy a little bit. Don't ask me why in the hell I let that hit me. Now the issue becomes this tight, narrow corridor with that great sword on me. The red there has switched to a straight sword, so I gave him some room to work, but he didn't want it. So we kite our phantom and we finish him off like that instead. So I finally start playing a little better as the invasion. It started off, I was playing beautifully with that backstab and killing the phantom, and then it turned into absolute bullshit against the halberd guy. But we finished well against the halberd guy. We got our kiting down. Now, like I said, you can play around with different spells. I started to feel like maybe having one more spell and doing maybe a little less damage would benefit me more. So I took off one of the sorcery boosting rings and I replaced it with a ring that gave me an extra spell slot. And I went with Soul Spear. Because in Invasions, Soul Spear is not only viable, it's fucking awesome. Now I switched to the dagger there quickly because my partner was using, the big ass dual greatswords. Now he said, I'm pretty sure that was the invader that yelled here, and he had the right idea. If it was, he had the right idea. We needed to retreat. I was just trying to make my retreat, and I couldn't do it at that exact moment. So if he ran out there to save me, then I'm what got him killed, and that's on me. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll get revenge. We will not let him die in vain. Now, I'm not blasting spells in the narrow stairway here because they're not committed to chasing me just yet. Let them heal, then hit them with a spell. Pestilent Mercury right in the doorway to keep them from camping it. Snap Freeze just to put a little mustard on the hot dog, I guess. I don't know. We have a bigger, more impressive cloud now. There's nothing wrong with that. We can kind of keep our eye on this one phantom. The host walks dead on into that. But at this point, I can see I've got 4 opponents. I know there's a finger active. I know I've got backup coming. We're going to get him with the turn and burns, and then right on time, here comes another Dark Spirit. Now, because they are all actively chasing me, I could use the spells here. The problem is, do I have enough time to get the spell off without getting absolutely murdered for Snap Freeze? It's not worth it. So instead, I lure them back into the other red. I believe he got confused with what was happening, and obviously, that quick, it's hard to determine who's the host and who's the invader. Thankfully, he erred on the side of caution, and he didn't hit me. Snap Freeze works beautifully here. Very narrow choke point. It splits the party up, and the host is getting wrecked. Thought I'd get the riposte there, so you see me open my gesture menu. Didn't get it. Switch to the Aquamarine Dagger for the quick kill. Give him the Quiet Resolve, and then run away. Fucking run away before the rest of those dudes whip your ass. Anyway, Invader Preparedness. If you guys dig this, I might do it with some of my other spellcasters. Let me know. Later, y'all.